I've got some questions about Brindabella Christian College. I'm interested if the department or the minister received the independently audited financial records required under the AAT orders and promised by the board chair, Greg Zwagenberg, in his email on the 17th of October this year.
Sorry, Senator, are you talking about the audited financial statements or?
Yes.
Senator, for the 2023 calendar year, we have not received the audited financial statements for Brindabella Christian Education Limited.
Okay. Have you received an email from the chair of the board saying that they have been sent through?
I don't recall, Senator. I mean, those documents are normally provided to us through School Hub, so they go directly to the department, and as of this morning, there was no information provided to us in relation to the audited financial statements, the financial questionnaire, or the acquittal certificate, which are an annual financial collection process with a due date of 30th of June each year.
What's the department's engagement been like with the chair of the board?
Senator, there have been numerous, as I understand, that I've seen emails sent by the chair of PCL on various information or updates.
Have any threats been made by the board chair against departmental staff?
Senator, we would take threats by any approved authority against our staff very seriously. The work health and safety of our team is of utmost importance to us. Should we receive such threats, that we would act accordingly.
Sure. Have you received any threats?
Not that I'm aware of. Certainly you would understand...
Have you seen all the correspondence?
I have seen a number of the correspondence, but not all of the correspondence. So I'll confirm with Mr Smosky whether there's been threats. But what I would say is approved authorities, when they are going through a regulatory action or an investigation, as this one is, individuals involved in those investigations can get heightened, can feel very distressed by the approach. Our team are trained to work with individuals in that sense to support them through it, but also secure the information that we need to secure to do the investigation thoroughly. Mrs Smosky, is anything of what I've said, do you need to correct any of that?
No, I mean, I would just add that, I mean, we deal with, in administering the requirements in the Act and regulations, we obviously interact with different schools and various individuals, and yes, sometimes things can get a little bit sort of taken out of context, but from our perspective, we try and apply the requirements in the Act.
Sure. I've received a lot of correspondence from constituents about this school, including one lengthy and seemingly very well-informed letter that was sent anonymously, as the writer advised that they were, and to quote, withholding my name from this letter due to concerns for my own safety if my name was released to the board's chair or to the BCC board. Do you have concerns about whether the chair of the board is a fit and proper person to be chairing a school board?
Senator, we have an investigation running into Brindabella Christian
very
Education
long one.
Limited.
Very, very long one.
It's a very long one, Senator. It is a complex investigation that has a number of different components. That investigation is looking at our the elements at law that approved authorities are meant to have in place. One of those key criteria is a fit and proper person in terms of the approved authority. It is an area that is part of the investigation, and that investigation is ongoing.
I note that two board directors, Flora Tan and Alan Davis, have stepped down from the board. Does this put the school in breach of one of the AAT conditions?
Senator, the school is now in breach of one of the conditions. That is condition 3.7, which states that the board is required to maintain a board size of not fewer than 5
Five, yes. Has the October 28th deadline for quarterly superannuation payments been met?
Senator, I don't have that information.
Okay. Maybe just on notice then. I've got advice that it as of yesterday it hasn't been paid, but I'd be interested in what the department says and what the department is doing about that.
Senator, if I can add to that, there are a range of obligations that this employer has. Some of those obligations are regulated by the Australian Tax Office. And so each of the regulators involved in this matter will be monitoring the obligations of the party as it relates to those areas of their responsibility and acting accordingly. We take into consideration in our assessment whether the approved authority is meeting its obligations at law across the full spectrum of obligations, and it all goes into the consideration the delegate will make. When the investigation is finished and the delegate determines whether they will be taking action against this approved authority.
How long has this investigation been going?
Senator, this investigation commenced in 2020.
2020.
Correct.
Oh, okay, so 4 years and counting.
Senator, you might recall from our previous evidence that the department's delegate made a decision. The approved authority then took that matter to the administrative tribunal, and our decision was stayed until such time as the AAT had concluded their own assessment.
I've been advised that it's becoming difficult to operate. The school's becoming difficult to operate because many suppliers aren't dealing with the school anymore because they're owed money. Is that your understanding?
Senator, we've heard various sort of rumours or reports of that nature, but we don't have anything specific. We generally rely on audited financial statements or information that is independently verified in the context of understanding any financial management issues.
And so is the department's view that the school is complying with the AAT conditions?
The school is not complying with the AAT conditions, Senator.
How many of them aren't they complying with?
So, Senator, the AAT conditions, all but 3 expired on or before 1 August this year. So there was 64 conditions issued by the AAT at the time. Based on our assessment, 20 of those conditions were met on or before 20th of August.
And I mean, what happens? Yeah, you don't even know if they're paying their superannuation on time. We've had 4 years of this. Parents concerned. Clearly things aren't going well in terms of governance at this school. What do I say to parents?
So, Senator, we understand the impact that this is having on school communities.
So what are you doing then?
And so the investigation team are in the final stages of their investigation, and shortly that will be before our delegate, who is the determiner of what action, if any, the department will take. Our work happens separately to the work the ACT government is currently doing in terms of exercising their regulatory powers, and the school had obligations to respond to a range of issues that ACT government, non-government school regulator had raised as well. So our team were furnished with additional information only in the last couple of days from Brindabella. As soon as that's done, that will go to the delegate, and our delegate will make a determination as to what, if any, further regulatory action will be required. Brindabella College Education Limited, or Brindabella Christian Education Limited, is currently under regulatory action by the department at the moment. One of those measures we have is that they are sitting on monthly payments rather than a 3 times a year payment.
It's my understanding that their existing financing ran out at the end of September. Are you aware of that?
So the existing
Finance arrangements with the bank.
the credit
Right.
facility.
Yes.
As I understand, the credit facility with one of the commercial banks expired end of September.
Yes.
And while I haven't received any formal notifications about the status of that credit facility, I understand that credit facility is extended on a month-by-month basis.
Okay. So it's been extended.
Well, I don't have any formal confirmation.
Should you not know that? I mean, otherwise they're trading insolvent.
We have asked questions, Senator, around the commercial loan arrangements, including questions around financial management.
Senator, that question is directly relevant to one of the basic requirements for approval as an approved authority, which is that the person, in this case the entity, is financially viable.
Sure.
The availability of a line of credit to meet their obligations is part of the consideration that the investigation team will be having.
And so were payments made in October to the school?
Was the monthly payment made in October? I believe so.
Well, if it's a requirement and they didn't have their finance ended in September, why did you pay them in October? I guess my question is, like, what actually has to happen for the department to intervene at a school where clearly there are huge issues?
Yeah. So, Senator, we have intervened, and as I said before, we've got regulatory action already in place. The investigation is drawing to its conclusion. I've indicated in the last couple of days additional information was furnished from the approved authority to the department. The delegate will shortly be given that thorough assessment by the investigation team, and then they will make their determination as to what happens with the approved authority. And there are a range of mechanisms available to the delegate about what they will decide to do, and that will go everything from maintaining that school, that approved authority on monthly payments, all the way through to more significant sanctions.
Yeah. There's been a previous case in 2017 of Malik Fard Islamic School, which was the first, and I think to date, only private school to have its federal funding severed. Is that an option in this situation?
That is certainly one of the mechanisms lawfully available to the delegate.
And when you say soon, in estimates language, like, what does that mean?
Senator, we understand the impact that this is having on the school community, the students, the staff. And as soon as the investigation team have concluded their matters, it goes to the delegate. The delegate will be minded to make a quality decision having regard to all the evidence. I can't be any more specific of that, but they are aware that their matter has been running for some time and the need to give clarity and certainty to all parties involved.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your work, and this is obviously causing a lot of distress, and we've seen, concerns raised at an ACT government level. They are somewhat limited given the federal part of this, so thank you very much. Thanks, Chair.
Good, thank you.